Today, many generations are working together in the same workplace. It has all started with traditionalists, then baby boomers, Generation X, and millennials. The newest generation is considered to be digital natives. Baby boomer-shaped workplace culture is dissolving quickly as 21st century values take hold. Millennials start to outnumber boomers in the workplace nowadays. Age and experience, of course, no longer indicate role in an ever faster changing world of work. Sometimes there are even conflicts within the organization as a result of differences or gap of diverse generations. Sometimes, however, the biggest challenge is even to work with someone from different generation. But we want to question this issue. Are there any differences or even conflicts between the generations in the workplace? If yes, is it a case for diversity and diversity management? In order to answer this broad topic, we conducted an interview with a baby boomer and digital native.
My name is Florian Traubert. I'm 22 years old and I consider myself belonging to digital natives. I think I was very fortunate to have done internships in very good companies that also attract people that are very well educated. So I think it really depends also on the education level. So for instance, I worked in consulting for instance, right? So of course there were also baby boomers and Generation X's, but I think the higher you're educated, the more you can adapt to new technologies, the more you are also eager to learn new things. So of course there are differences, that's undeniable, but also baby boomers get along with new technology very well, and they are not afraid of it, and they basically embrace that change. However, that whole situation turns around when you look at people that are not very well educated, may not have a university degree, for instance. So comparing for instance, baby boomers that do not have an educational degree, do not have a university degree, with digital natives not having a university degree, I think that differences are very, very big, because I recently was at Aldi and I paid with my Apple Watch, and the woman turned around and said, what the fuck is that kind of new technology, right? So those situations appear or occur very, very often when you have to deal with people that are not eager to adapt to those new technologies. And in terms of differences within different companies, I think the younger, of course, the company is, the more startup-like it is, the more it is eager to adapt to new technologies, and the more traditional, maybe it's a family business, the more traditional a company is, the harder it gets for their employees to really adapt to new technologies. I personally believe, and also you have to imagine a situation of, let's say, 20 years or 30 years ago. So normally the career stage was like joining the company with 22 years old, then being a manager at, let's say, at the age of 35 or 40, and then being a top level manager at the age of 50, 55 maybe, right? So that was kind of a very traditional career step that he could have taken, but nowadays it's very difficult to have this kind of career setting in a company, because there are also managers at the age of 25 because they joined the company at the age of 16 because they are done with school at the age of 16, or there are top level managers at the age of 35. Also in my internship, there was a top-level manager, CFO, at the age of 36. So it's very difficult to say that there are this kind of like stable career steps you can take, because it's rather a mingling process where you have different kind of generations mingling into different kind of positions. So I would even go so far to say that they support each other. Of course, there are differences, and there are definitely generation-wise differences, but they are not as apparent as they used to be 10 years ago, right? So this mingling already takes place, so it's difficult to address the the specific needs of each kind of individual. But I think the most important thing also in terms of implementation, the most important thing is building trust. Because also as a digital native, you always continuously have to adapt to new things. Having, for instance, the new MacBook or a 4K TV, right? That's also things even we as kids did not have access to, but we adapted to it. And also I think older generations and also old people have to be eager to learn new things, and they should not be afraid or reluctant to those new technologies. And as long as you can set up a program where you really build trust between those kind of generations, and where younger people can help older people, and also vice versa, where older people can help younger people because they are more experienced in certain areas, then you build trust. And this is very important, because as soon as you build up a good trust level, everyone, I think, will be eager to learn new things, will adapt to new things, because they know there is someone in the company that can support it.
Hello, my name is Andreas Wojcik. I was born in 1961, which makes me a member of the baby boomers group. I did my master in St. Gallen. Currently I'm working in the finance area, so I just funded my own private equity fund and will invest into countries like Ghana or Nigeria, developing countries. And yeah. Well, there definitely are differences. I mean, we didn't grow up with technique everywhere, and we weren't confronted with having to use as many gadgets or phones or laptops on our daily basis. And as Generation X or Y grew up being heavily influenced by techniques, being influenced by the rise of the computer, I definitely see potential for conflict, and I see that it is maybe a bit difficult to work with generations sometimes. Just imagine Generation Y or the millennials. When I see them walking along the streets, they have their mobile phones with them all the time, they are calling other people, they're doing Snapchat, I don't know what, and they can't really think it away out of their lives. And this transfers into the working environment. So when I try to work with people or discuss with people or we have meetings, the phones go off every 3 seconds because of WhatsApp messages. It heavily disrupts productive working environments. So I think this is the most important and most difficult part that I see working with these generations. I think it's hard to generalize this question as well, as there may be conflicts arising between each and every different age group. For example, the millennials are very different from their parents, whereas the parents of the millennials themselves were very different to their parents as well. So I think there can be conflict between each and every generation. One of the most important topics regarding conflict may be the use of mobile phones or communication devices at the workplace, but I think in general all generations may work together well. Well, it most definitely is not a case for diversity or diversity management. I would say the problem has educational roots. The people just need to spend less time with or on their mobile phones, and this for different reasons. First of all, of course, the health risk reason. People may develop tumors in the near future. And the other reason that I think is even more important is how we educate ourselves. Where do we get our news from? When we spend half the day on social media like Facebook or Instagram, our news that we collect ourselves are highly filtered, and I think it robs the future generations of the ability to think critically, to analyze where the information is from and how different types of information benefit different people. And I think this lack of critical thinking is highly problematic even in the business world.